Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 52 of the NordCast. It is Wednesday, April 17th, 2024. I'm your host here, Nordic 97, joined with Carter. How are we doing today, Carter?
We're doing pretty well. Being the only one with a team in the playoffs is definitely something to be proud of. So I'll take that.
And we're here with Jack, who's a team that's also not in the playoffs. Jack, how are we doing today?
Doing good. Hawks will be there very, very soon. I can promise you guys that.
No.
And as you can tell, we're also joined here with someone else very special. We have a Blackhawks content creator here, someone who's big in the Blackhawks hockey world. We got Keegan Olivera here. How are we doing today, Keegan?
Nordic, doing pretty good. Jack, part of the no playoff team club, Nordic, along with you. So we'll be enjoying the playoffs, watching Carter and his team, losing the first round from our couches.
Not happening. Not
Absolutely.
happening.
Absolutely.
Cup champs. At least I didn't say Detroit.
Very true. All right, so as we did with the last couple of people we brought onto the show, we got some questions here for Keegan to start out. So the first thing that we always ask everyone when we bring them onto the show, whether they're analysts, players, content creators, we always ask them, how did they get into hockey? And we've heard some pretty interesting stories over the last couple of years. So what is your story?
So growing up in Chicago, I grew up at a pretty good time with the Hawks and their dynasty run. So when I was younger, I wanted to get into a sport, but I didn't want to do like what all the other kids were doing, like football, baseball, basketball. I kind of want to be unique in a way and do something different. And so with the Hawks being good, I'd see them on TV all the time making the cup run. So I'm like, I wanted to try hockey. And I was naturally pretty good at it. I was a good skater right from the get-go. So got into hockey, played throughout my youth. And then it wasn't until I got into college when I really started to get into content creation. But throughout my entire childhood, I played hockey in the Chicago area, and it's really all thanks to the Blackhawks for not sucking at the time.
That definitely helps when the team's not bad. I'm sure Jack can relate to a lot of that. Jack definitely grew up in a time where the Blackhawks were good too. So Jack's a little bit younger than you, but at the same time. Yeah. You kind of answered my second question. What made you want to get into content creation? I know you got into it around college, but what made you want to get into that?
Really, I like being active on social media. I like interacting with people and meeting people on social media. So it was around COVID time when we're all trapped in our rooms just on social media doing whatever the hell. And one day I uploaded a video about the Blackhawks. I never did anything really hockey related on social media before, but I'm like, I'll make this funny TikTok with this audio about the Hawks. And it blew up. It got 10,000 likes overnight. And I'm like, maybe I can kind of do something with this. So kind of just slowly grinding my way out, making videos. It more started off as comedy short videos that most of them really didn't get much attention. But then I started focusing more on the Blackhawks and what they're actually doing. And that's kind of when I started to see my social media career take off a little bit.
Now you did a thing, and this is what I want to start off with before I get into some of the stuff where you did collabs with Tommy Hawk and modeled for the Blackhawks. My question is when you make these videos, they're all really high quality. How do you get some of these ideas that you do? Especially the Macklin Celebrini connection. That video was really impressive to me. I was impressed with that video. So how do you get some of the ideas you get with the Blackhawks being so bad?
Really, they just come up in my head while I'm on TikTok or I'm just scrolling and I see something, I'm like, oh, maybe I could turn it kind of differently and do something like that. But a lot of times I'll just be sitting in my room and I'll get an idea and I'll record it. And sometimes it does well. Sometimes nobody even cares and I'll get 100 views. But yeah, a lot of it's just kind of off the dome and I freestyle and ad-lib a lot of the videos. So many of them aren't really planned out. I just kind of start recording and see where it goes.
Yeah, so as you kind of got bigger and stuff, you started doing collabs with a lot of other people. How did working with Tommy Hawk, the Blackhawks mascot, how the hell did that happen? That was one of my questions when I saw that TikTok.
Yeah, that was it was a trip situation that went down. I wasn't supposed to be involved in that day or meet Tommy Hawk. None of that was supposed to involve me. So if you guys know who the TikToker Kazi is, who yes. He's learning how to play hockey and all that stuff. So he got invited out by the Blackhawks to do a collab with Tommy and go to a couple games. And so I reach out to Kazi. I'm like, hey, I'm from Chicago. And if you guys know who Carpig is, he also does TikToks. He does video game stuff. He's also from the Chicago area, and we all kind of like mutually kind of met together and like, hey, let's all make a trip and go to a game or two. So I reached out to my buddy at the Hawks, like, hey, do you think, you can get me and Carpig, seats in, we can hang out with Kazi and we'll record a lot of stuff. So we got the thumbs up from them. I actually drove back to Chicago. It was a weekend ordeal. It was like Friday through Monday or something like that. And it was in the middle of the school semester. So I'm like, should I make the trip? I'll be missing some school. I'm like, yeah, screw it. I'm going to make the trip. So I drove 8 hours back to Chicago. And then we had a game that night, Blackhawks game that night. And then we got to see the Blackhawks locker room. They actually brought us down to tour it. We got to see like the Bedard stall. I don't know if you guys saw the video where I touched the Bedard bubble. That was pretty magical.
I
So
saw that video.
yeah, it was pretty cool. So we got to hang out with Kazi and shoot a bunch of stuff there. And then the next day, I think that was a Tuesday. I probably had my days all messed up. And so Tuesday was when Kazi had the shoot with Tommy Hawk at the Fifth Third Arena, which is the Blackhawks practice facility. So we got invited out by the Hawks. They're like, hey, if you guys want to come help shoot some content, or if you want to shoot even your own content there, you guys are more than welcome to come along. So we got to do that on Tuesday morning. Kazi did like a plunger video, and they did like mini sticks on the ice. They did all bunch of games that they had planned, and Carpe and I, we shot some things there, not as much as Kazi. So the whole Tommy Hawk, we got to like meet Tommy Hawk. We got to meet the person that like is inside the suit. I can never look at that bird the same now. I just see the guy who's inside the suit. It's but you will not see anything more weird than your favorite mascot talking to you. Because Tommy was communicating, what are we doing next, guys? Like something, and it's just the weirdest thing ever. And so, yeah, we shot with Tommy in the morning, and we did a bunch of fun stuff. And then we had another game on Wednesday that we all went to, and we all met up and hung out. So really it was, Kazi getting invited out by the Hawks, and it was really his big collab that we kind of just tagged along and, had some fun and, made some good friends. Kazi and I are really good friends now, and it was just a super fun kind of last-minute trip for us. So it was pretty cool.
Where do you go to school at?
So I go to school at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. So I'm a Cornhusker. I'm a junior right now, and I am majoring in sports media and communications with the interest of being a play-by-play broadcaster.
Keegan, I'm a Hawkeye fan.
You're a Hawkeye? Hey, guys, how do we kick Jack?
You've been trying,
I'm not
man.
a Hawkeye. I'm a Hawkeye fan.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
So essentially, when Bedsy's at the end of his career and the Blackhawks draft another new player as the draft lottery's rigged for the 50th straight year, I'm kidding. Will you be the commentator by then?
I hope so. If that spot's available, I'd love to be able to get a crack at it. I know Chris Vossers right now. He's the new broadcaster for the Hawks, and some people kind of have mixed feelings about him. But I actually got to interview him for one of my classes, and he's such a great dude. We talked it was over an hour, and a lot of it was hockey, and a lot of it was just non-hockey related. We're just kind of talking about what'd you do for college, what do you think about this, that. We were even talking about, like, what do you think about deep dish pizza, like that kind of stuff. So
that's pretty
I know
cool.
people kind of have different, like, viewpoints about his commentary skills. I personally like his commentary skills, but, he's such a good dude, and being able to have that connection, I hope, maybe that can take me somewhere within the hockey world. But, if Chris is retired by that point and they got that job opening on Zillow, or Indeed, Zillow is the housing one, then yeah, I'd definitely put my application in.
I got one more question, then I'm going to give it to the other guys. Modeling for the Blackhawks, how did that come to be? I saw you were doing like clothing stuff for them. I thought that was pretty sick. How did that come to be?
Well, as you can see, I'm not much model material, so it was kind of a surprise to me as well. But that also was like a last-minute pop-up. Once again, my buddy, who I know for the Hawks, he sent me a text one day. I just got out of a class, and I just got back to my apartment. And he's like, hey, when you can you give me a call? It's important. So I'm like, oh, all right. So I gave him a call, and he's like, hey, we're going to be launching this new clothing line. It's the 4 Stars collection, which they did a 4 Stars collection, I think, like a couple years ago. But they're releasing their like second line, and they're like, hey, we want to have you model for it, which caught me the hell off guard. But I, super grateful for the opportunity. So I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. And that was in the middle of the week in November. So like it was like approaching finals time pretty quickly. So I made the trip I drove back on Tuesday. We did the shoot downtown in Chicago on Wednesday. It was freezing cold that day. They had us in like sweatshirts and jeans and super cold, but it was super cool being able to go around Chicago, and they shot a bunch of pictures of us. So it was something that I've never done before that I thought was really cool. And once it finally came out around New Year's, I got a lot of support about it. People thought it was the coolest thing ever. And even today, I still, when I'm scrolling through Instagram, I'll get an ad and it's myself on like one of the posters that they have. So it's pretty cool being able to, randomly scroll through Instagram and being able to see yourself do something like that.
So those annoying ads that we see on our Instagram, that's you.
That's me. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, it's all my fault.
No, I'm kidding. That's pretty much all I got in regards to like the content creation stuff. Carter, do you have any questions for him?
Yeah, I kind of got a couple for you. So Keegan, my first question for you: who's like been your favorite person that you've gotten to meet, whether it's through content or just in general, kind of just for yourself?
Anybody in life, like anybody.
No, it's anybody.
Oh man, if it's like anybody. Oh man, I don't know. I haven't met I don't know many celebrities, but through like TikTok and content creation, Carpig, he's one of my great friends now. He was one of the first content creators that I've actually met in real life, and we became really good friends. So Carpig's awesome, and then Kazi, who I met like a month ago, he's been really awesome. We're setting up something right now for the Wish Cup down in Nashville, if you guys are aware of that, the big roller hockey tournament that they do. So we're all setting up a team for that. So we're all really excited to be back together again, and this time actually playing hockey. But back to meeting anybody ever, I met, probably recency bias, when I met Frank Nazer at the Blackhawks development camp a couple years ago. That was super cool. He was such a cool dude. We talked for a while. It was like he just got to Chicago, so I'm like, oh, how you like the city, that kind of stuff. And he went to Michigan, so we were talking about Michigan for a bit. So Frank Nazer was really cool, and just getting to see him score his first goal was awesome, and see him progress throughout the Hawks was going to be really cool for me to see.
Pretty incredible pass, by the way. I saw that video that you made.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty
gross.
nasty pass. Carter, do you have any more?
Yeah. One last question for you, Keegan. What's kind of been your favorite piece of content that you've gotten to shoot? Whether it's like an opportunity that you've had, or whether it's just a video of you sitting in front of the camera talking. What's kind of been like that one video that you just love?
I like videos where I'm able to go where I get to go to games and shoot videos, like for when I got to tour the Hawks locker room. When I got to do so much stuff with them, it's almost like I'm forgetting. But there's a lot of stuff I shoot like when I'm at the games, which is really cool. My favorite video ever I shot is it's just stuff that happens unnaturally, like when the Blackhawks won the draft lottery for Connor Bedard. The reaction my roommate and I had was just so natural and pure. It's like you couldn't fake it. You couldn't make it up. So videos that kind of just happen naturally and just turn out to be so good and pure, I think would be my favorite. But I'm hoping soon to be able to kind of turn towards like actual hockey, like playing GoPro kind of stuff. Like I mentioned earlier, I played hockey all my life. So being able to kind of spread hockey and suit up the skates a little bit more would be really cool to share.
Awesome. Jack, do you have any questions for him?
Yeah, I mean, just a couple Hawks questions, obviously, because I'm the Hawks fan here. But yeah, you said Frank Nazer. What do you think of him? I mean, first goal in his first shot, that was pretty sick.
Yeah, man, I've been excited since we drafted the kid, and when I got to meet him, I've been excited for him to put on that Hawks sweater and join the team. But being able to see him develop at Michigan was just so cool, and we knew that he's going to be a special talent, and I think he's going to be the right piece to play on Bedard, next season. I think he's going to be one of the top 12, 13 forwards that make the cut into the regular season. So he's going to be really special. We saw it on his first shot. He buried one. And just like Jonathan Toews, he's already showing that similarity. So I think, Nazer's going to be really special, especially playing with guys like Bedard and, who knows who else we draft next year and years forward. We're going to put together a pretty good team here pretty soon.
Yeah, speaking of that. Oh, sorry, Nordic. Go ahead. What are you saying?
I said, sorry. Along with Macklin Celebrini.
Oh, yeah.
I hope, man. I was pretty happy with Bedard. I don't want to get, a little too greedy.
Yeah,
Nordic, let's not even put that energy out there right now, please. I cannot deal with another. I cannot deal with another Hawks dynasty. Please,
I'll tell you all I can get.
Oh, I can't take it either. I agree. Even though I was like literally I was like 5 years old the last time they won the cup. Never mind. I was like 7, but Continue on, Jack. Continue on. Enough about how old I am.
Yeah. Anyways, do you like Kyle Davidson?
Kyle from Chicago, I love
Kyle
his
from Chicago.
personality. That video of him on the streets in Nashville
That's
during the
it's
draft
so great. I
was,
love that.
oh, it was awesome. That was really cool. As a GM, I don't mind him as of right now. He hasn't really done anything spectacular that I can judge off as of yet. So it'll take me a couple more years, I think, to really get a fair judgment of him. But so far, I don't really mind the moves he's made. Right when he came into office, he said we have a 5-year plan. It's not going to be pretty for the first couple of years, but we're going to get somewhere with it. So he's sticking true to his plan. It's been terrible the last couple of years, but it seems like we're slowly treading in the right direction. So I'm hoping Davidson is our guy for the long-term future.
Yeah. Do you think they spend a little this offseason or wait 1 or 2 more years?
I think it'll be a couple more years before they really start reaching into their pockets.
Right.
Maybe they'll go out and make a little bit of a splash. I'd like to see something on defense. Try to strengthen the back six there, but it'll be great with Taylor Hall coming back. Once he's fully healthy, I think like the Hawks top six is going to be a lot better than it is this year. But the Hawks have money, so why not spend some of it?
Yep.
Can't lie to you, I forgot Taylor Hall existed. I can't.
Yeah, I know. It's been a
Yeah,
minute.
that popped in my head right when you asked that question. I'm like, oh my god, he's a Blackhawk.
Yeah.
It's easy to forget. So, transitioning out of the content creations questions, Jack kind of helped us start doing that. Thankfully, he didn't ask any of the questions that I have. So, with these Blackhawks questions, Keegan can start out, and then Jack, if you have anything to say, you can back it up since you are a Blackhawks fan too. We won't exclude you from this, even though you are a fan of that bad college. That's all I'm going to say. So, Keegan, overall this year, I understand that this year's been pretty painful, but what are your overall thoughts on the Blackhawks this season?
Really, this is kind of everything I expected out of the Hawks this season. We knew it wasn't going to be pretty. Obviously, the mission was complete with getting Bedard. We weren't expecting to make a playoff run, even compete for a playoff spot. We knew it was going to be a bad year. We've been talking about Celebrini since the minute Bedard got drafted. So we're going to be bad for another year or two. I think it'll be probably about 2 or 3 years before we start seeing those playoff pushes. But, kind of they checked everything I expected off my list for the season.
It's kind of what I thought you were going to say. Jack, anything to add?
I mean, when you look at it, like, we beat the Maple Leafs twice this year, and what comes to mind for me was that opening night at Pittsburgh. I was like, wait, is this team going to do something? But then, I was delusional that night.
Don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool
I know.
you.
Yeah.
Anywho, that's what I figured you were going to say. Just kind of piggybacking off of you guys. I expected this year too. It's weird because there were some people who were saying that Bedard's going to get the Blackhawks to the playoffs, like he's some kind of Wayne Gretzky, and even Gretzky couldn't do it alone. So
he's still only 18.
Yeah, that I thought was wild. But regardless, my next question is: recently, or towards the end of the season, the Blackhawks have kind of gone on like a little bit of a hot streak and did really good in March. Did that frustrate you? Because I remember when I messaged you, they beat the Flyers that night. And I said to you, I'm like, good win. And then you're like, no, not a good win at all. So did that frustrate you, them going like, I think it was 500 in March, something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right when they started winning and they put like the first like 1, 2, 3 games, it's like, what are we doing? Don't we want, a better chance for the first overall pick? But then they kept winning, and I kind of liked it. I'm not going to lie. It's been so long since I've seen, Blackhawks tie together some wins. Up until like had to be March, the Blackhawks won back-to-back games once, and it was in like October. So it's been a while since the Hawks put together a string of wins. So, obviously the Hawks wanted a better draft pick, but the players kind of thought otherwise. And I've got nothing against winning. If the boys want to win, let them have some fun. It's good for the locker room. It makes for more entertaining games. I hate watching, West Coast games in Vegas that the Hawks score 1 goal. If the Hawks are going to put up 4 or 5 goals, I'm going to want to watch the game. So in a way, it is frustrating that, we won't get the best chance for the first pick. But then again, we didn't need the best chance last year for the first pick.
That's true. That's very true. I'm going to be honest. I really hope y'all don't win it this year. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't go through another year.
My hopes are not nearly as high. I would have sold a kidney to get Bedard for last year, so I'm not, Macklin Celebrini, hell of a player, but there's no way I can be nearly as excited for him as I was for Bedard.
Yeah.
So, Jack, anything to add to that? Are you frustrated?
Not really. I think it was going to be the Sharks as the worst team, no matter really what happened. I think they've kind of pulled away with it at this point. But yeah, it's fun to see the team win. As Keegan said, it's been a tough year, and it's nice to see them win. So yeah, I've kind of enjoyed it.
So transitioning over to your guy, Connor Bedard. I'm just gonna ask you like a really basic question. What do you think like Bedard's ceiling is? Like not even really like points wise. Do you think he can be like, like a franchise player, a elite player? Just what is his ceiling? I'm asking this question terribly. You know what I mean, right?
I think Bedard's already proven he can be a franchise player. He's almost at a point per game pace as an 18-year-old on one of the worst hockey teams in the NHL. Yeah, his plus minus sucks. But don't look at that. But he's proven that he can be the guy. And once we get some line mates around him and Kurashev were electric this year. Once you get another guy on his side, if they decide to put Bedard back at center, if they decide to keep him on wing, once you get him two solid line mates that actually know how to pass a puck, he's going to be putting up some crazy numbers. So ceiling, he's always said in interviews how much, he idolizes Sidney Crosby. And I think sky's the limit. I think if he stays healthy and has a solid enough career, maybe he can reach that Sidney Crosby level, which is not easy to do by any means. And I probably sound so biased saying that, but I truly believe that he can be one of the best draft picks that we've ever seen.
Do you think, and I'll follow this up with a question, then I'll go to Jack. Do you think that it'll be better than Kane was in his prime?
It's going to be hard because Kane was on some really good teams.
Yeah.
If the Hawks can build around Bedard, maybe. Patrick Kane's my favorite player of all time, so it's kind of hard to just agree to that question. But I think Bedard has the skill set to be better than Kane.
I think so too. I would agree.
Okay, all right. That's kind of what I wanted to ask. Sorry, that question was not good. So Trent, you said something about plus minus. So about 2 weeks ago, we posted on our podcast TikTok our Calder predictions. Which, by the way, we all had Connor Bedard 1. For if you were wondering, Jack did not have Faber at 1 or someone else. He had Bedard at 1. Sorry, Jack. I know we're being mean to you, but someone commented on that video saying that making the argument that Brock Faber, who I think is the consensus number 2, I don't know who you think should be, but Faber is the guy who has been battling for it, should be a finalist. Somebody made the argument saying that Faber has a better plus minus than Bedard, and therefore he should win the Calder Trophy. Do you think, and not even like that it should win him it, do you think plus minus should be a deciding factor when giving a rookie an award?
I think yeah, it's a stat that it's there for you to judge a player on performance. But I think a lot of it, you need context. You need to see the kind of situation they're in. Bedard was in one of the worst situations possible for a rookie. And he still put up almost a point per game. And, the reason why his plus minus is so bad is because they need him on the ice to score goals because no one else on the Hawks can score goals. So they're putting him out there for a lot of the game against the top lines in the NHL. And a top line on a contending team is so much more powerful than the top line on the Hawks. Like the top line on the Hawks is like a third line for a good contending team. So it's just plus minus, it's there for you to make a judgment, but it should be taken with a grain of salt.
I agree with that. And I don't reply to comments on the TikTok, but I wanted to so bad because it feels more to me like a team stat. To be objective. It seems more to me like a team stat. If I'm being honest, Bedard, if he's a minus like 36 or something like that, yeah, I guess you can take that into consideration. But Faber has a clearly way better team than Bedard does.
Oh yeah,
and so does many other players. So honestly, I am not too getting into plus minus. I feel like it should be based off of not really points, but like the offense and some of the defense too. I do think Faber's been valuable to the Wild this year, but I don't think he loses it. I don't think he wins it over Bedard.
Faber's been great. I've been a big fan of Faber throughout the year, and if Bedard was out longer because of his broken jaw or Bedard this wasn't his rookie season, I think Faber would be the consensus number 1 guy. He puts up crazy minutes and he puts up some pretty good numbers. So if Bedard wasn't Bedard, I think Faber would have the easy run at the Calder.
I 100% agree. Since Jack he's back. He has returned. Oh, he went to his other room with the fire truck so he could plug in his computer for
I did, yes.
for the podcast for the audio people who can't see. So Jack, what are your thoughts on that question that I just asked with Bedard and the plus minus?
Yeah, like you said, it's more of a team stat, and I think you have to keep in mind he's 18. He's still learning how to play defense, and he's not known for his defense, obviously. But yeah, as Keegan mentioned, the Hawks' top line is nowhere close to, I would say, really any other team's top line. So yeah, but we'll definitely see that improve next year and years to come. So.
Yeah, no, I agree with you for sure. I think the plus minus will clearly get better as the team gets better. So transitioning out of Bedard and the overall Blackhawks this season, let's look at the future. So when you're looking at the draft, I guess you can include Celebrini, but who are the top 3 players you want to have on the Blackhawks?
Jesus,
from this draft class.
That is a great question. I made a video. I don't know if you saw my video like a couple weeks ago, but it was pronouncing the prospects' names for the first time. These names are absolutely, and they are just typing letters and giving these people names. Anyways, that's probably no offense to anybody with a difficult name. Anyways, the guys that I would want, my number 1 guy outside of Celebrini would probably have to be Demidov. He has been so good. I like watching his highlight reel. He seems to be really good. You put him alongside Bedard, that line is going to be scoring hella goals. So I'd love to see Demidov. I was a huge Cole Eiserman fan. I don't know how the hell he fell off from the second pick and down to lower in the top 10 is what a lot of mocks that I've been seeing have been saying. But I like Cole Eiserman. He's a pure goal scorer. Obviously, there's some questions on the defensive side of his game, but if the Hawks are looking for a pure goal scorer, that could be a good one. And then Artem Levshinov, I believe that's how you say it, the defenseman from Michigan State. I've been a huge fan of him. Put him on the right side with Korchinski, and that defense would be locked down. So those are probably 3 guys that I'd like the Hawks to try to get.
Jack, what about you? I feel like we've asked you this question before. We even did our mock draft last episode. But Jack, who are 3 guys you want to see on the Blackhawks besides Celebrini?
Well, yeah, obviously I would say Celebrini, but we're probably not going to get the number 1 overall pick. But yeah, I think Demidov definitely my number 1 overall. And then I like Lindstrom a lot. I definitely do think we need more defense, young defense to be specific. Korchinski's looked great this year. And I mean, Seth Jones has had a good second half. I don't think people really realize that, but the guy is scoring a lot of goals. And I think if you pair a young guy like Lindstrom with Jones, I think he could thrive in that role.
I agree with that. I think Lindstrom. Wait, Jack, Lindstrom's a forward.
Lindstrom's a forward?
Jack, I'm pretty sure Lindstrom's a forward.
Really?
I think he's a center.
I thought he was a defenseman for some reason.
Dude, Jack, you gotta lock the fuck in, bro.
Yep, that's my bad. That's my bad.
You mean,
I don't know why I thought he was defense.
Do you mean Levshinov or Silyev?
Sure. I meant Lindstrom, but
stole ours. All right. Anywho, Carter's done. Anywho, so.
Oh my god.
This has been a question that I think I asked Jack at some point, or I asked someone who was in the Blackhawks relations. If the Blackhawks were to not draft first overall and Macklin Celebrini wasn't available, would you take a forward or would you take a defenseman? I feel like it's a question that not a lot of people are asking, but what is your personal stance on that?
Personally, I'd like to see the Hawks go defense. I think build up that top 2 pairing with Korchinski and Levshinov would be so good. That's what I would like to see, but I wouldn't mind them going best available and taking a forward. Honestly, build up your top 6, make it as strong as you can, give Bedard some help, but this is kind of a draft where I don't really have as much of a preference as I do in past drafts.
Okay. Jack, what is your stance on that? And no, the Blackhawks can draft Lidstrom as a defenseman.
I mean, they could.
Yeah, that's my bad, guys. I don't know. I thought he was defense. I don't know why I thought that, but yeah. Honestly, I'd like to see them build up the forward core. Obviously, there's guys that are still coming up, young prospects, and I think if you continue to build that, that'd be a good thing. And I think getting defense and free agency and stuff like that would be better for the team. So
we'll see. And then my final question that's Blackhawks related, Keegan, is you kind of said it earlier, but how many years until you think the Blackhawks are back in the playoffs?
Hopefully soon. I'm kind of tired of this waiting for the lottery ordeal as a hockey fan, but realistically, I think it'll be about 3 years before we really see that progress of making the playoffs. I hope it's two. I hope we can make it next year, but realistically, I think it'll be about 3 years for our guys to develop and for Davidson to get things the way he wants it. And once he does, the Hawks will be hopefully back in no time.
I agree. Jack, what's your stance? And no, they're not making it next. Sorry, I'll stop bullying Jack. Jack, what do you think?
Yeah, I would say probably 2 to 3 years. Once Bedard is, like young 20s, that's when he'll probably hit his prime. So yeah, I think they can be a real force in a couple of years. So yeah, for playoffs, I'd say 3 years.
Okay. All right. So that is all I got for content creation, Blackhawks questions. Do you guys have anything for him? No? Keegan, do you have anything for us?
I can't say I do as of right now.
Okay. All right. Good. I was gonna make sure you didn't have any questions for Jack. All right. Anyway, so we'll move into news now. We'll move into the news and headlines of recent dates. So obviously, in our last episode, we actually talked about the Coyotes officially announcing relocation. It actually happened like literally as we were making the podcast, I believe. So the Coyotes, we do have an update on that. It does look like it's going to be more and more official. What exactly is going to happen there? They are going to relocate. It's going to be announced very, very soon. Could be announced as early as tomorrow. Could be announced as early as, I don't know. It could happen very, very soon. It could happen by the end of the month. That's how soon. So it sucks for Coyotes fans. Their last game's in like 7 minutes. So my heart goes out to all of them. So yeah, I thought I'd start off with that. The playoff picture has been finalized, and we'll get into this a little bit later. But there have been matchups that have been determined. The Washington Capitals are the final team to clinch a playoff spot, eliminating that 4 playoff conundrum that was last night with the Penguins, the Red Wings, the Flyers, and obviously the Caps as well. So we talked about this a little bit pre-recording, but last night's game was insane. Last night's scenario was absolutely insane. I'm not even gonna say it. It was unreal. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I do want to say this though. We did see 2 players reach 100 assists since our last episode. So Connor McDavid and Nikita Kucherov have become the 4th and 5th players all time to record 100 assists in the season. So only 3 other players have done it. It's Gretzky, Lemieux, and Orr. So very impressive. Now I want to ask you guys this question. Even though Matthews finished this year with 69 goals, I want to say this. What do you guys think is more impressive? 70 goals or 100 assists in a season? I'll start off with Keegan. What do you think?
They're both insanely impressive, but I think 100 assists is probably just barely more impressive. 70 goals is absolutely crazy, but I don't think people realize how many 100 assists really is. I think Wayne Gretzky did it 11 times. I don't think anybody else has done it more than once. So that shows how crazy Wayne Gretzky is, but I would personally rather have 100 assists than 70 goals. 70 goals would be cool. You get to Sally 70 times. You have that beautiful number under your stat line, but I would probably prefer the 100.
Carter, I haven't heard from you in a little bit. What do you think of the 70 versus 100?
I have not disappeared. In my opinion, I think that they're both really impressive, but I think you got to go with the 70 goals. I think that's to have almost a goal a game over a season is ridiculous. But one I will say that I feel like is more impressive is 55-on-5 goals, which is what Austin Matthews had this season. I think that is just ridiculous as well, because it's very rare that players even break the 50-goal mark, and to do it in pure 5-on-5 is nuts. So, in my opinion, I think it's a 70 goal, but I think an even bigger step up would be the 55-on-5.
Okay. Jack, what do you think of the 70-100 battle that's been over the last couple of days?
I think I would rather have a 100 assist man on my team, but I do think 70 goals is more impressive. As Carter said, almost a goal a game. Just incredible to do. So yeah, I would say 70 goals.
Okay. I am very split on this. I've been asking people, and I'm going to make a video at some point. Excuse me, but I've been asking people a lot what they think about this. I am leaning towards 70 goals because even though it's very rare to see someone score 100 assists, we saw two players do it this year. So it kind of shows that maybe it might start becoming more common, but I think 70 goals, nobody has done it in a very long time. I know the same thing goes for 100 assists, but nobody has scored 70 goals in a very long time, and Matthews didn't even get it this year. He has 69 currently, so that's nice. But moving on. So Marc-Andre Fleury announced that this season, or not this season, next season, will be his final season in the NHL. Fleury was a first overall pick in 2003, has played for the Penguins, the Blackhawks, and the Minnesota Wild, and the Vegas Golden Knights. So he's been around a lot. But since he's a former Blackhawk, Keegan, what are your thoughts on Fleury trying to go for another cup this year?
Well, I don't think he's going to get one with Minnesota. I'll say that first. But, it's sad how we're already at the end of his career. He was one of my favorite players growing up when he was on the Penguins and then when he was on the Knights. So I've been a huge Marc-Andre Fleury fan. I was so excited when the Blackhawks traded a bag of chips for him. I was actually in Las Vegas when the Blackhawks traded for him, so that was pretty ironic. But he's had a hell of a career. I'd like to see if Minnesota could do something. It'd be great if they were able to go on a run for him, but at the end of the day, he had a hell of a career.
Jack, what do you think?
Yeah,
Jack?
I don't think he'll go anywhere with Minnesota. But yeah, he was fun when he was on the Hawks. Obviously, it was a terrible defense core, but he was a very fun player, and he had a couple shutouts, I think, and he played good for that half year. But yeah, we were able to. I think we got a second rounder that could have been a first for him in return. So nice little trade piece that we got there. So
yeah. That's all I got for news. I know, actually, one more thing. Sorry, I forgot. Don Granato was fired by the Buffalo Sabres this past Monday, I think. So, yet again, another player added to the list of Sabres guys who have been fired. It's 7 coaches since they recently made the playoffs since 2011. So, any thoughts on Don Granato being fired and who the hell is going to take over this team again? Nothing? All right. That's what I figured, but thought I'd ask. So transitioning now out of news, we have playoff predictions. So the 2024 playoffs, when this podcast is posted, it will be 2 days away from playoff time. So we are going to give our first round predictions. We're not going to go through the whole bracket because I feel like if we go through the whole bracket, we all have different brackets and it's really uncontrollable to keep track of everyone's bracket. So we're going to go series by series here. I know there's only been I think 4 or 5 that have been determined out of the 8. I know all the Eastern Conference ones have been, but the Western Conference ones are still up in the air. But we're going to go as is right now. Hopefully we're right, but regardless. So we'll start off with Carolina versus the Islanders. The Islanders and the Hurricanes faced off last year in the playoffs, and the Hurricanes took it in 6 games. Head-to-head, the Islanders actually went 2-1-1 against Carolina. When you look at points percentage, Carolina's second in the NHL. The Islanders are 15th. When you look at power play, the Canes are second. The Islanders are 19th. And when you look at penalty kill, the Hurricanes are first, and the Islanders are 32nd. So some stats there for you. I'm going to go to Keegan. Who do you think is going to win this series between the Hurricanes and the Islanders? I know we don't get a whole lot of perspective from you when it comes to other teams, but what are you thinking this year's playoffs with this series?
It's definitely an interesting series. I kind of like seeing matchups that we don't see all too often. I know these two played not too long ago, and Carolina kind of kicked the shit out of them. So for that reason, I would probably say I'd go Carolina in 5 against the Islanders. I've never been big on the Islanders, but I am a pretty big fan of the Canes, so I'd take them to go, decently far this year, actually.
Okay. Jack, what is your view on the Hurricanes-Islanders series, and who's taking it?
Yeah, I'd have to go with the Canes too. I think when you look at the Islanders, I think they are capable of a mini run. I think they're kind of a team that's built for the playoffs. Good defense, and they get a lot of greasy goals, which is what you need in the playoffs. But yeah, I go Carolina in 6 games against the Islanders. I just think they have a little too much star power for the Islanders to handle. So yeah, I'll go Canes in 6.
Okay, Carter, what is your view on this series?
I think that this should be an easy series for Carolina. As much as I want to say that this is going to end up being a sweep, the Islanders, no matter what, they always seem to take at least one game before they go away. So in that case, I think I'm going to take Carolina in about 5.
I'm not on the opposite end. I do think Carolina's going to win it, but I actually have the Hurricanes winning in 7. I think that the Islanders are going to make this series close. I think they're really going to fight. I feel like, and as well as this too, when you see a team play, when you see a team play really hot into the playoffs, they typically do very well. So the Islanders are looking really hot right now. So odds are, I'm kind of taking them to at least steal a few games here from Carolina and make it pretty difficult. I know we might be on different ends of that, but I have the Hurricanes in 7. Still the Hurricanes winning it, but I think that the Islanders will make it way closer. So, transitioning to the other series now in the Eastern Conference, you got the Rangers and the Capitals. The Capitals and the Rangers have not faced off since, I think, 2014, 15, somewhere around there. I'm not too sure how long ago. Carter's shaking his head.
I have no idea.
Been a while. It's been a while. That's all I'm going to say. So head to head, they're 2-2 against each other. So that pretty much speaks a lot of volume that this has been a really close matchup through the regular season, and it could be close to the playoffs. When you look at points percentage, the Rangers are obviously first. The Capitals are 17th. When you're looking at power play, the Rangers are third. The Capitals are 17th. And when you look at the penalty kill, the Rangers are third, and the Capitals are 18th. So, Keegan, who are you taking in a Rangers-Capitals series?
What was Washington's goal differential at the end of this year? Minus 30 something?
37.
Yeah, that in itself is impressive that they made the playoffs with that. I think the Rangers are going to be too much for the Capitals. I'd have to go Rangers in 5. I think Washington will find a way to get a sneaky 2-1 victory, probably at their barn. But I'd have to go with the Rangers in this one.
Jack, who are you taking in this series?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rangers in 4. Ovechkin is obviously not what he used to be. Still a great player, don't get me wrong, but just not what he used to be. And the Capitals are just kind of just old and slow. Not, no offense to the Capitals fans, but they're kind of boring. They're a boring team, and Rangers, they're just too powerful. They're gonna overpower this team, and I think they're gonna get the sweep. So,
Carter, what do we think? Do you have a different opinion or no?
I mean, I guess. Sorry. Jesus. I guess kinda I do. I really do think that this is going to be a much closer series than people think. Because I said before, I don't trust the Rangers in the playoffs. So in that case, I'm taking the Rangers in 7. One player that I am expecting to flourish in the playoffs is someone who I don't think has ever been in it. Dylan Strome is due. And I feel like he is going to change. He is going to change this series. I think, in my opinion. Jack said that the Hawks, or not the Hawks. Sorry, I mean, never mind. Jack said that the Capitals are slow and boring. I think Dylan Strome's going to change that from playoff time. So I'm going to take the Rangers in 7 though. But I think Dylan Strome X factor.
Okay. So I have the Rangers still taking it. I have the Rangers taking it in 6. So we all have different games there, but the same team. I am on the same side as Carter. I do think the series is going to be way closer than people think. I honestly do think that if the Capitals can play their low event hockey, they can steal some games here from the Rangers. Because one thing that I noticed, and I realized it after the Boston game and when I watched the Flyers game yesterday, I realized that when the Caps play this low event type hockey, they do tend to steal some wins. And that's kind of why their goal differential was terrible, but they still made the playoffs because they play that low event style hockey. So we'll see there if that's what happens. But I have the Rangers taking it in 6. The next series we have here is when we might start bumping heads. We have the same team predictions for now, but we might start bumping heads here with this matchup. We have the Battle of Florida again. We got the Battle of Florida once again between Florida and Tampa Bay. So currently head-to-head, the Panthers actually have a 2-1 record over the Lightning this season. When you look at points percentage, the Panthers are 6th in the NHL. The Lightning are 14th. When you look at power play percentage, the Panthers are 8th in the NHL. The Lightning are 1st in the NHL. When you're looking at penalty kill percentage, the Panthers are 6th in the NHL and the Lightning are 5th. So, Keegan, who are you taking in the Battle of Florida this year?
Well, let me tell you, Nordic, the Battle of Florida has turned into one of my favorite hockey series in the playoffs. It's going to be a hell of a matchup. The Panthers have they were on a wagon last year in the playoffs. Kachuk, I've been a big fan of him in the playoffs. Aaron Ekblad is one of my favorite players of all time. So I think they're going to make a run. But I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Lightning in 7 games. So we'll go Tampa in 7. It's
Out of left
be
field.
a great battle, but I'm going to go Tampa in 7.
Wow. Wow.
Did
All right.
not see that coming.
That was a
That
roller
is-
coaster. Holy.
That
All
was
right,
pure like college football commitment. Just picks up the hat, he goes and he chucks that shit. Oh my god!
We're riding Tampa this year. Well, I was at a Tampa game this year back in January. It was one of the most fun hockey games I've been to. So I am on the Tampa wagon, and I think they're going to make a run this year.
So, for those who didn't see it on the audio end, Keegan put on a Panthers jersey and started talking about the Panthers, and then he ripped it off and was wearing a Lightning shirt underneath. So that was fun to see for the video listeners. So if you're listening to the audio, shameless promotion here. Go check out the video side of things. So Jack, who are you taking in this Battle of Florida, and why is Anthony Stolarz sweeping the Lightning?
Yeah, give me the Panthers. Start Stolarz in every single game in that series, bro. He's incredible. But yeah, anyways, give me the Panthers. I'll say in 6 games. Obviously coming off a finals run, and I think when you look at all 4 lines, they can beat you in any way. Just an elite offense, and you got Stolarz in goal. So
How about it, Carter? Who are you taking in this Panthers Lightning series?
I mean, I can't do anything as cool as what Keegan did, so I guess I kind of just gotta say mine. This is probably gonna be the most entertaining series to watch. As much as everyone's probably gonna take Florida here because they're the higher seed, Tampa's coming off of a playoffs with rest. They didn't make it as far as they did the last 3 years. This is probably one of the most experienced cores when it comes to the Stanley Cup playoffs. So I'm taking Tampa in 6 here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Carter.
Okay. I like that. I am so split on this series. I think it could go either way. I don't want to. I counted Florida out all year last year, and they made the Cup final. Even when I said time and time again that they weren't going to do anything, they were going to miss the playoffs, they were going to get swept in the first round, they were going to this and that. I didn't think I said that, but yeah, I don't know. But then Tampa, as Carter said, they're coming off of rest. They have rested a lot, and they still have a pretty good team. That being said, I really don't know. I haven't even made my predictions yet. I'm really split. I'm gonna go Tampa in 7. I'm going Tampa in 7. I honestly I feel
We like that pick.
when you're coming into the clutch, I think Kucherov is going to be the one that clutches up this year for Tampa. And if Vasilevsky stays the same way he is, hey, we could see a pretty good matchup. And the final matchup of the Eastern Conference is one that we haven't seen in a while, but it's a classic. It's Boston versus Toronto. So for those who do not know, the Bruins and the Maple Leafs played like 2 straight first round series in 2018 and 2019. They both resulted in Boston victories. We're a few years down the road from that. We'll see if Boston can pull it off. So their head-to-head matchups, you got Boston that's 4-0 this year over Toronto. So they haven't lost to Toronto in a long time. When you look at the points percentage, Boston's 4th, Toronto's 10th. When you look at power play percentage, the Bruins are 14th, the Leafs are 7th. And when you look at penalty kill percentage, the Bruins are 7th and the Leafs are 24th. So Keegan, I don't know if you have any more theatrics, but who are you taking in the Bruins Leafs?
Yeah, no more tricks up my sleeve. But I think this is going to be a great matchup. It's going to be tough for Boston going up against a near 70 goal scorer. But I was a big fan of the first round exit memes for Toronto for the longest time. So I'm going to hope we get those memes back this year. I'm going to go with Boston in 6.
Okay. Jack, what is your view on this series? By the way, I'm writing these down. That's why I'm going off the frame.
I think as of right now, I'm gonna say Boston's my Stanley Cup pick, and
Not
I'm gonna
Detroit. Wow.
well, Detroit. Okay,
Stole ours?
you guys have to realize I'm so biased. DeBrinket's my favorite player of all time, and Patrick Kane's on the
No shit,
All
Jack.
time?
I'm
Of all time? You know how many
DeBrinket is my
played
favorite
in the
hockey player.
NHL, Alec, of all time? Do you know we had
That's right.
Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves for over a decade?
I
Corey
did know
Crawford, Duncan Keith. Like, what the
I
fuck?
had a connection. I had a connection to him.
Wait a minute. I thought you. Wait, did you say favorite player or best player of all time?
Favorite player.
Oh, with the way Keegan was reacting, I was like,
No.
I said best player.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Well, Jack probably thinks that he is too.
Unless their opinion is Alex DeBrinket being their favorite player.
Wow.
That is crazy.
Keegan, do you not like to drink it?
Nah, he's a good dude, I'm sure.
Okay. All right.
I
Continuing
love
on.
it.
Jack, what is your prediction for this series?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Boston wins it in 7. Maple Leafs, obviously, Matthews, 69 goals this year. Nice. But yeah, yeah, I'm gonna take Boston in 7. Last year just heartbreaking. After the President's Trophy curse and all that, but just losing to Florida in that fashion was just so bad, and they're out for revenge this year. I think they're gonna take down Maple Leafs in 7. So.
Okay. Carter, what is your prediction on this series?
Well, Toronto has not beaten Boston at all this season. At home, on the road, it does not fucking matter. And it's still not going to matter. I think that they will end up taking one game. I think that Boston might get in their heads being up 4-0 in the season series. So I'm going to take Boston in 5.
Okay. I have Boston in 6. I am on the same boat as Keegan. Excuse me. I'm on the same boat as Keegan before I burped. I do think that this series will be close. I think that it's gonna come down to a lot of overtime. I do think it's gonna be more difficult for Boston, even though the last 2 games the last 2 series have been 7-game series. But I think Boston takes it in 6. It's kind of where I stand. Moving into the Western Conference. So the Western Conference is weird because not every matchup's decided. We're gonna go as is for now. When we do this, or when I post these, or when the series get finalized and the matchups change, I'll just ask for the guys' predictions on the series if they change. But regardless, the one series that is confirmed is Jets versus Avalanche. So getting a little rundown here. The Jets are 3-0 this year against the Avalanche. Points percentage wise, the Jets are 7th, the Avs are 9th. Power play percentage, the Jets are 22nd, the Avalanche are 6th. When you look at penalty kill, the Jets are 21st and the Avalanche are 12th. So Keegan, who are you taking in this series between the Jets and the Jets and the Avalanche?
I think it was pretty funny how we found out that this was a confirmed matchup after Winnipeg beat down Colorado 7-0. I thought it was a pretty funny way for them to find out. But I'm going to go with Winnipeg in this series. I don't think they'll be able to get past, or I don't think Colorado will be able to get past Winnipeg. I'm hoping it'll be a good series. I'm hoping it goes the distance to 7, but I'm going to say that Winnipeg wins it in 6.
I think it really could be a good matchup. It's one of the ones that I'm really looking forward to. Jack, what is your prediction in this series?
Yeah, I think this series has Game 7 written all over it. I think this is going to be probably the best series to watch. But yeah, I'm going to go Avalanche. Just the playoff experience on that roster just speaks volumes, and I think that'll be the main reason that they go past the first round.
Okay, Jack. Jack, what'd you say again? I blanked.
I said Avs in 7.
Okay, all right. Carter, what is your prediction? I feel like I know what you're going to say. How about you stand up for us so we can see what you're wearing?
I mean, take me out to dinner first, but okay. Well, I mean, we can get this Flyers jersey out of the way, but come on, I'm in the white. I don't have to say anything else. All right, there's nothing else to say here. Clearly, I'm taking the Avs in 4. No, I'm kidding. Nordic. This isn't legally binding, right?
No, it's not.
Oh, thank God.
Don't worry.
No, I think that this is going to be a Jets in 7. I don't think we're going to lose a game at home. The whiteout, as much as Last year it was it was a good whiteout, but Vegas was just too much. They were just nasty. But when that building gets loud, it gets loud, and it is one of the hardest buildings to play in, especially come playoff time. So give me the Jets in 7 here. This is definitely going to end up being the best matchup in the first round. And if the Jets are still alive and I am back from my cruise and there is a game 7 in Winnipeg, you bet your ass I'm going to be sitting in a seat.
Oh, all right. I'll take that. All right. So my prediction is I also have Jets in 7. I am with Carter on this one. I do think that the Jets are going to take the Abs over in this series. I'm very intrigued to see how this is going to go, though. Not going to lie to y'all. So the other series, as I said, are not fully determined. As I said, so we're gonna do as is for now, and if they change, we will just do them later. So Stars versus Kings. I don't have any stats for them because I was pulling them off a puck report. So Stars versus Kings. Keegan, who are you taking in this series?
I really don't see. I see this being one of our quicker series in the first round. I think Dallas is they have too much power. I think LA is not going to be able to keep up with them. So I'm going to say Dallas in 5.
Okay, Jack, what is your prediction?
I'm going to say LA in 6.
Ooh, okay. And the one thing is too is I've actually been listening to older episodes of the podcast, and you have been really high on the Kings in the past. That makes a lot of sense. Carter, what is your take in this series?
Wow, I am very on the opposite of Jack. I have this being my only sweep. I got Dallas in 4.
Okay.
This Dallas team is just absolutely unreal. Everything from forwards to defense to goaltending, they got it all. And I think where LA lacks in almost every single category, Dallas is just going to absolutely blow by them. And I don't think that there's anything that the LA Kings can do. They have a little bit more experience with some of their guys, but there's no touching playoff Otter.
He has been high on playoff Otter before, I will say that. I have Stars in 6. I think that the Kings will pull off some wins, but I think I have the Stars in 6. It's going to be interesting to see what goes down here, because if if the Stars end up playing Vegas, we might have a way different viewpoint on that, but we won't get into that. We're going as is. So we'll move on with Vancouver and Nashville. This could be a closer series than people think. Keegan, who are you taking in this series?
To me, this is just a gross matchup. Just two teams who I couldn't even tell you how many times they've played in the playoffs, but it's just super unique from what I've seen. But I would say Vancouver in 6. Nashville, they were on a heater a little bit earlier this season. That was really cool to see. But I think Vancouver, they're going to turn it up a notch in the playoffs. And yeah, I'll take them in 6.
Jack, what is your prediction on this series?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Vancouver in 5. I know Nashville is just they're a wagon right now toward the end of the season. How many games did they win in a row? Like 16, 17?
It wasn't winning in a row. They just didn't have a regulation
up.
loss. I think in like 18 games or something.
Right. Yeah. That was pretty crazy. But I don't know. I don't like this Nashville team as much as I like Vancouver. So I'm gonna go Vancouver in 5.
Okay, Carter, what is your prediction on this series?
So, looking at it, Vancouver has played Nashville 3 times, all of which came before they got really hot after the All-Star break. So I feel like Vancouver might go into this with a little too much confidence. Give me Nashville in 7 here.
Ooh.
I am going to take this upset and run with it. I got high on Nashville, and they kept proving me right. I don't know what it is, but I don't trust this Vancouver team in the playoffs. Give me Nashville in 7.
We are completely split on this. I also have the Predators in 7. I think this could be a close series. People are forgetting that since I'd say the All-Star break, and I think Carter kind of touched base on it, the Canucks have not been the Canucks that we've seen earlier in the season. So I understand that, things will be different heading into obviously, the playoffs, but I still think that the Predators can still very well beat the Canucks. So that's all I'm going to say. Moving into the final series here of our predictions, we got Oilers and Golden Knights is the current stance there. And things might change if the Kings win their last game and the Knights lose or something like that, but it's looking like Oilers versus Knights for a first-round matchup. So, Keegan, who are you taking in this series?
This is a matchup I'm really excited for. Vegas can be a dangerous team in the playoffs. Obviously, we know with their whole dead cap situation, IR cap situation, whatever it is, they're dangerous when they get in the playoffs. So this is one that I think it'll be a back and forth, blow for blow series. But I'm going to take Vegas in 7 here against Edmonton.
McDavid out in the first round. Jack, what is your prediction on this series?
Yeah, I'm going to go Edmonton in 6. This Vegas team is just not close to what they were last year. So, yeah, I'll go Edmonton in 6.
Carter, what is your prediction on this series?
They're going to fucking do it. We all know it's Vegas, and they're just going to do it. Give me Vegas in 7. I don't want this to be true, but give me Vegas in 7. There's no team that I hate more than the Vegas Golden Knights, and they're going to do it. Oh, my. I don't even want to talk about it.
It's funny because you said in a video when you made your post deadline ones, you said they're gonna effing do it. I swear, and you said it again.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a close one. I am with Keegan and Carter here. This is gonna be a close one. I got Oilers in 7. I think McDavid and them pull it off. I think they have been hot since falling off at the start of the season, and I think they pull it off in 7. So I got Edmonton in 7. So coming full circle, I understand that we didn't do like second round predictions or did any of our brackets or anything like that. But what is your guys' overall cup prediction for the 2024 playoffs? I'll start off with Keegan. Who do you think's winning it all?
I don't know if I should take off the sweatshirt again, but I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think that they're going to make a run. I've been a huge fan of Kucherov this year. I think that team, once they're in the playoffs, they can make some magic happen. So give me Tampa bringing back the cup.
Who do you think's going to be who do you think's going to be the Western Conference finalist with them?
I don't want this to happen. And Carter, I know you expressed your hatred for Vegas, and I don't want to see Vegas in the finals either, but do not let them get hot. If Vegas gets hot, they can be such a dangerous team. I think it'll be between Tampa and Vegas. I think that'd be a hell of a matchup to see.
I agree. I 100% agree. Jack, what is your cup final prediction and your winner?
Yeah, I'm going to go Boston, and I'd say as of right now, Vancouver. And I'm going to go Boston over Vancouver, which would be a great matchup.
2011?
Yeah, I think
the rematch.
What?
2011?
Yeah. Yep, the riots and all that crap. But yeah, I'll go Boston in 6 or 7 games. I'll say that.
All right, Carter. What is your cup prediction and your cup final and cup winner? I feel like I know what it's going to be, but...
So, we'll start out in the East. The East is going to be a very tough decision. I think there's going to be a lot of upsets. Give me the Tampa Bay Lightning to come out of the East.
Oh, he's changing it.
Wow.
Your post deadline, you had Florida. What changes that? Oh, Keegan's taking it off.
Keegan's taking it off. So, here's my thing. I've realized that Tampa's gotten hot. I've started to realize that Tampa's starting to play like at least some decent hockey right now. They're going to go into it with a lot of confidence because they've done this plenty of times before. They're fully rested after 3 straight cup finals. I just don't see a team topping them. And I think that the Battle of Florida is one that Tampa Bay will win no matter what. So I think that once they get out of that round, it's just going to be a smooth sailing, unless they end up taking on a team like the Rangers or Carolina. I think that's going to be their only other tough series. But other than that, I don't see a team stopping Tampa Bay out in the East. Out in the West, I don't even have to say it. I've been clipped for it. You can see it on TikTok. I've already said it. Give me the Winnipeg Jets making it out of the West. I think that we've gotten hot at the right time. And as Keegan said, don't let Vegas get hot. Well, don't let Winnipeg get hot. We'll stay rolling. Especially when we get that whiteout crowd behind us. There's no team that's going to stop us. So give me Jets, Tampa in the cup final. And Give me the same cup champ. I think I don't have to say anything else. Give me the Winnipeg Jets.
For the second straight year,
It's
he's
coming
going.
home.
He's
Give
going.
it to please. Let this be our year. I swear to God, I'm starting to sound like a Dallas Cowboys fan, and I hate it.
Oh my God!
You're starting to sound like
started
Jack.
with the Cowboys. I'm a Cowboy fan, and
Oh, God bless you, Keegan.
I couldn't. I know you guys, Philly. Yeah, whatever the hell. The Cowboys fan is the biggest curse of any sports fan. At least like around my age, like younger Cowboys fan. We haven't seen them do jack shit throughout my life. I'm done talking. I'm getting.
You're a Cowboys guy?
Yeah, my dad's from Dallas, so I
Fuck you. Get this guy the fuck out of here.
hold up.
You're kicked
Yeah,
off the
you know, I'm
podcast.
done too. Fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Hey, what
Well,
Yeah,
well,
can I say? What can I
What
say?
are we doing?
But
The
how
integrity
about
of Billy.
Cowboys,
Oh, you son of
baby.
a-
How about them, baby? Come on, bring it out. Bring out the Kelly Greens.
Let's go.
Bring out the Kelly
Let's
Greens.
go.
Band for band, let's go.
We will.
Dakota is cooking y'all this year. We sweeping the
What are you
division
talking?
this year.
Dakota? His name's Dakota. Oh my God, he has to shorten his own fucking name because it's Dakota. Oh my God. He is horrible.
Whoa,
Oh my God, he's one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever
He
seen.
led the NFL in touchdowns.
Oh my God, your receiver's not even showing up to training camp. Oh my God, start signing your fucking players. You're starting a 5'5" running back.
If the Eagles win 4 more Super Bowls, they'll be tied with us. That would be.
Oh my God, your Super Bowls are from the 90s. They've expired. It's like milk. Get something in the 21st century. My God. Holy fuck. Oh my God, what are we doing here?
Well, that got pretty intense pretty quickly.
Anyways, sorry about that, guys, for screaming into the mic, but I get very
Bear
passionate
down.
when there's
Bear
dumb
down.
I
Cowboy
respect the
fans.
passion. I respect the passion.
Shut the fuck up, Jack. Shut the fuck up. I'm kidding.
Fans.
I'm kidding.
Let's go Bears.
I hope both teams win.
Shut up.
I hope everyone just has.
Not the Cowboys.
Shut up. Let me do my prediction. I'm the host.
No.
All right, so when you're looking at this year's Stanley Cup playoffs, last year I went Rangers Edmonton. That's what I remember. I actually stuck with that from the start of the year until the very beginning of last year's playoffs in the history of this podcast. I'm not going that way again. I'm not. I'm gonna go Stars in the Western Conference Final, Hurricanes in the Stars in the West Final. Stars in the West, Hurricanes in the East. In a 7-game series, I'm taking Dallas. Dallas over the Hurricanes is my prediction. Not the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars.
I wouldn't pick the Cowboys either.
No, I definitely.
I mean, I do want to say this. It's been 2 solar eclipses, and you guys have like what 2 playoff wins?
Damn! Oh my God, he cooked your ass!
And it's crazy how people like treat the Cowboys like, oh, it's been so long. There's been so many teams that haven't even made the Super Bowl. The 49ers have been in a longer Super Bowl drought than us. Oh, they have more playoff wins. They don't matter unless you win the Super Bowl. None of it matters. It all doesn't mean shit unless you win it all. So I'll rest my case.
True. Very true. All right. This is not a football podcast. If you want to go listen to a football podcast, go check out the
New Heights.
Nordball.
Go check out my Snapchat story. Well, Carter and I will argue with each other for another hour.
Oh, I'm so down for that. Let's do like those like high school send it things where you send anonymous messages.
Let's do it.
Oh my God. All right.
I know Nordic still does those. No way he doesn't.
No, I don't. All right. Enough. I'm limiting you guys. Enough. So transitioning.
Dad.
So concluding, moving on from the 2024 playoff predictions, I want to give NBA predictions because one thing we've been doing as a podcast is we've actually been giving out our National Basketball Association predictions and some other predictions too for other sports. So Keegan, you may not follow basketball, but out of the teams in the playoffs, who are you taking to win the NBA championship?
Well, I'll say the team I want is my Chicago Bulls. I think they're playing right now, actually, in a playing game.
Yeah, I'm watching them. I'm kind
How
of.
they doing right now? Are they winning?
We're up by 9.
We'll
in the
take it.
second.
So I want the Bulls. I want the
Rayon's
Bulls
gonna
to
watch
win. But a team that I think I'd love to see the Thunder. Oh, if the Thunder would make a run, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be the Nuggets. Jokic and Jamal Murray, they're just so good. Jokic is, it's not the most entertaining basketball out of him, but it is some of the most dominant basketball out of him. So I'm going to say Denver takes.
Okay. Jack, who are you taking for the NBA championship?
I'm gonna go. I have to look into it more, like just once like the play-in tournament's done, and just to see all that like actual matchups. But as of right now, I'm gonna say Dallas Mavericks. Luka should
Are you
absolutely
saying
win MVP
Dallas
this
is like
year.
going to complete
And,
like a three-peat in Dallas? Like, are we getting the Cowboys and
Oh
Mavericks?
my god! Don't even get fucking started. That is the
Sure,
worst.
sure.
That is the worst take I've ever heard. You guys won't even brush 10 wins.
Oh, good.
So Dallas Mavericks. Okay. Yeah. Carter, what is your NBA chip predictions?
It's always Luka D though. Give me the Mavs, baby. Come on, we're getting hot at the right time. Luka is a different breed. Okay, he is the best. Honestly, he's probably the best passer in Dallas. I'll be honest. Like any sport included, I'd definitely say that. But no, honestly, I got the Mavs taking it all. Getting hot at the right
Eagles
time.
didn't get hot at the right time. They lost like 6 or 7 straight on their season.
Still made the
Listen.
playoffs and got as many wins as you guys. That's all I'm gonna say.
Listen, enough. Listen,
Shut up.
Did OKC make the playoffs?
Yeah. I think they're the 1 seed. They're the 1 or 2 seed.
Yeah.
I'm taking OKC.
Hell yeah. That team's good. That team's so young and they still have so many draft picks. I love Shea. Shea should.
Gosh, Diddy! I don't know
It'd be
anything
cool
else.
to see him make another one.
Oh!
Yeah. Hey, we'll see. I'm not a basketball guy. All right. Moving out of predictions, I wrote down a lot, so stay tuned for that for the graphics on the Instagram. It's time for games. We are doing Jack's Guess a Player. I didn't tell Jack that we are, but we are. We are 1-2 currently. We have more reinforcements, though. Not just me and Carter, but we got Keegan here, too, to help us out. So, Keegan, I probably should have explained this to you prior, but one thing that we've been doing for the last couple of weeks is we have been giving Jack some time to think of a player in the NHL. And me and Carter have been trying to guess who exactly the player is he's thinking of. So we'll ask questions like, oh, is your player in the Western Conference? Is your player on the Florida Panthers? Is your player a forward or something like that? That's kind of what we've been doing. So you got 3 questions. We each got 3 questions. So we got 9 collectively here. So we can really narrow
Do
this
they have
down
to be?
here.
Do they have to be yes or no
Exactly
questions, or can they be like any kind of question?
They do. They
Like-
do not.
Like yes, no. Like you can't just ask
Right,
like
right.
what team is he on. Like he's got it. Like yes, no, over, under, or like
Okay.
I don't know, continent is he from? Like something that's not like too specific kind of thing.
Yeah, that's kind of what we've been aiming for. So yeah, we're in week number 4. We are 1-2. So we're coming off of a pretty brutal loss. We came really close. But Jack, have you thought of your player?
I have. Here, let me move back to my normal spot really quick.
Oh, okay.
He's got to lock in for the Bulls game.
All right, we're back.
Okay. So I'll give it to Carter. To ask the first question. Then we'll go to Keegan. Then we'll go back to me. So Carter, what's your first question here? I know you always talk about starting off hot. Are you going to go for that again?
I mean, I think I'm gonna start off like the Dallas Cowboys. Start a little cold. Sorry, I'm so sorry,
Oh,
Keegan.
no,
I'll
I
stop
love
with
it.
the Dallas
I love
Cowboys
it.
references.
Keep it coming.
All right. Let me say, is your player in the Western
Yes.
Conference? Oh fuck, that's not how I want to start.
So he's in the West.
All right.
Keegan.
Carter, or not Carter. Jack, can this player
Jack.
legally buy a drink at a bar in the United States?
He sure can.
Okay. So he's old. He's older than 21.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Jack, is your player in the Pacific
Yes.
Division? Okay. All right. So he's in the Pacific. Take out the Blackhawks question. Siri just turned on. Carter, what's your second one?
Well, I mean, taking a look at all the teams in the Pacific, I feel like, I mean, Jack, is your player currently on a team that's in a playoff
Yes.
spot?
Okay, so we're down to 4 teams there: Los Angeles, Vegas, and Edmonton and Vancouver. Keegan,
Jack, did this player play college hockey?
Ooh, that's a very good question. Let me check.
Look into his eyes. Maybe we get a reflection.
I got his search history pulled up. Oh, it's Elias Pettersson.
No.
No. Okay.
Not great. I'll keep trying to narrow down the team here. Jack, is your player on a
Yes.
Canadian team? Okay, so we're down to Edmonton and Vancouver is where our player could be. Carter,
Okay,
what's your final
so he
question?
clearly can't drink in the he can drink in the United States. So that's definitely something there. But he's on a Canadian team, so he can't drink in the
Just play
States.
college.
Didn't play college.
You want to try and get the team here, and then we'll
So
go.
it's not
forward?
Brock Besser. Does your player play for Edmonton,
No.
Jack? Oh.
Okay, Vancouver. We're looking at Vancouver. He was really high on Vancouver. Keegan, what's your final question?
Jack. Oh man, I had one and it slipped my mind. Jack, is this player born in North America?
Yes.
Jack, is this player
Yes.
a forward? Okay. All right, so
All right.
we each get a final guess. So let's study the analytics here, see who's played in college or not. So Carter, I'll give it to you to start off. Who's
No,
your
I
final
never
guess?
start. I'm not starting.
Actually,
Piss
you're
off.
right. You're right. So we have like a 3 and so chance. Ooh, Jack. Is your player
No.
Sam
Oh,
Lafferty?
it's such a good guess. Oh man, I was probably.
That is a good guess. I love that, man.
Former Blackhawk. All right. Carter, do you want Keegan to go first, or do you want...
Keegan's got it. I always end
Alright.
nice.
So
Okay. Keegan, think of a player on Vancouver who was born in North America, is a forward, and has not played college hockey, and is above 21.
did JT Miller play college? He seems like a guy that would play college. Can anybody fact check that?
He's a U.S. guy, so maybe.
Hang on, I'm looking. It's loading. I don't think he did. No, he did not. Unless if is the U.S. national U18 team?
No,
like
I'm talking
college?
like
That's not college.
NCAA, like a
No.
legit school.
Okay, all right. And then no.
So yeah, I'll go with JT Miller. I'll stick with that. I think it'd be kind of dumb not to guess that at this point.
It is not.
All right, Carter.
No
Carter,
way we don't. I got my player, and I don't know if it's gonna be right. Do I go with?
No way we fumble this with a 1 and.
Okay, well, I know it's not Brock Besser because he played UND. Can't be Niels Armand. Don't think it's gonna be Teddy. No, can't be Teddy Bluger. Philip DiGiuseppe is not a player that Jack would even know. Hoglander's Swedish. Dakota Joshua, I don't think he even knows. It's not Sam Lafferty. Elias Lindholm, no Swedish. Mikheyev's Russian. JT Miller can't be. Pedersen. Could it be Pod? No. Okay, it can't be. Okay. Jack, is your player Connor
Yeah.
Garland?
Yes! Hey!
Let's
go!
Dang.
Let's
go. I'm 2 for 2 on I'm 2 and 1 on
That's
final
two in a row,
guess.
right?
I'm actually like that.
Unreal.
Let's go.
Attaboy, Carter. All right. So, transitioning out of Jack's Guess a Player, we do have one more game here. It's for Keegan. So, Keegan, you have to rank these 5 Blackhawks players based on how you feel they would rank in the team's overall history. So, not based on, like, favoritism, not based on anything like that. So, you have to base them off of, like, your overall, like, how you think they place in history. So, we'll start off with a simple one. Corey Crawford.
Is this a blind rank?
Yes, a blind rank. I thought. I think
I probably just wasn't listening.
I should have said that.
Corey Crawford, 2 Stanley Cups. Pretty underrated goalie in my opinion throughout his career. He did have a lot of help in front of him, but there's so many good. Being an original 16, there's so many good players in Blackhawks history. 5 sounds like the place to put him, but I feel like you could just throw in like just someone stupid like Anton Forsberg for the Blackhawks, like just something dumb. So I'll put Crawford at 4.
Okay. All right. I'll give you Stan Mikita down the back of my jersey.
Sweet jersey.
One of the best Blackhawks of all time. Rest in peace. So good. Not alive. I wouldn't come for another couple decades. So yeah, I didn't get to see him play live, unfortunately. But Stan Mikita, I'll go. Either still, would I put Bobby Hall above him? There's Kane. So I'll put Mikita at 2.
Okay. Trying to think of like Nicholas Hjalmarsson.
Hjalmarsson is so underrated. He was so good. He was one of my favorites.
He was
during the Blackhawks Cup runs. Always laying the body on the line. He was such such an important part of those Blackhawks Cup teams.
Absolutely.
It'd be a weird spot to put him between Mikita and Crawford, I think. I'm such a big Hjalmarsson fan, but I have to put him at 5, I think.
It's kind of what I figured you were going to do. I'll give you a nice one here.
Next.
Patrick Kane. Okay, 1. So, yeah, that wraps out your 4, and your 4 player is Jonathan Toews.
So, Toews at 3, Kane at 1. I think I'm okay with that, honestly.
So, you got 1 Kane, 2 Makita. Yeah, so you got 1 Kane, 2 Makita, 3 Toews, 4 Crawford, 5 Hjalmarsson. Good job. Good job, Keegan.
It's good.
Jack, I got a blind ranking here for you. It's not Blackhawks related. You have to try and blind rank 5 backup goalies.
Yes.
You get the joke? Okay, all right. Let's I thought I'd get that out of the way. So, your first goalie is going to be Colorado's Justice Anunen. Actually, no. Pavel Francouz.
I'll go number 3.
3? Okay, so your next goalie is going to be Laurent Brossoit of the Winnipeg Jets.
I'll go 4.
4. Carter doesn't look too
He's not 1.
Better than Stolarz.
He's not better than Stolarz either.
He is so much better than Stolarz. I don't even want to hear it. His stats. If we're taking games played into account, if we're not taking games played into account, he's higher on every single stat mark. So pipe down.
Oh, okay. Your third backup goalie is Jonathan Quick of the Rangers.
I'll go. Definitely 1 or 2.
You got 3 and 1, 2, and 5.
I'm gonna go 1.
Okay. All right. So if you get Stolarz, you're cooked. Your next goalie is actually Kevin Lankinen, former Blackhawk, ironically.
He was decent.
All right. That's what I figured. I thought he was terrible. And then your final backup goalie going in at your number 2, I think you said, is actually Eric Comrie.
Number 2
of the Sabres. So, yeah, you kind of not too great. So, yeah, that actually is all the games I got. I didn't have any for Carter. Carter looks kind of sad right now, so I'll leave Carter alone. But he's probably sad about the Cowboys and how they're better than the Eagles. Kidding.
The fact that you're admitting that as a Philadelphia native should get your card fucking revoked. You
Kidding.
you are losing. No,
Eric's going
you are
on the
losing
description.
every single. Oh my god, this is outrageous. I am contacting Barstool Philly. You are not getting that internship for that comment. This is getting clipped, put everywhere. I don't care. I will rent out a fucking billboard in Philadelphia. I will send this to your school. I will send this to any job you try to get in Philadelphia. You will not work in Philly.
Thanks, Carter. Okay, well, that will conclude episode number 52 of the NordCast. This one went on for about an hour and a half. Keegan, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. It was a lot of fun getting to chat with you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Of course, we probably will bring you on at some point again. We'll see. Maybe in the off season. We'll find out. But anyways, if you enjoyed this podcast and you want to listen to more, be sure to check out the Nordic 97 YouTube channel. You can check out all the episodes dating back to episode number 13. This episode is obviously posted on there too. You might even be watching this from that perspective. If you're watching from the audio end of things, there's plenty of episodes posted. You want to go rewatch those. And also, too, tell your friends. We're trying to grow this podcast in any way we can. If you want to follow the Instagram, you can follow at @NordCast_. Post a lot of great content there. And if you want to follow the TikTok, we are at NordCast, not at NordCast_, at NordCast. I figured that out. I should probably know that, but it's at NordCast. We post plenty of content there and other good stuff for you. But regardless, that'll do it for episode number 52. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Adios.